Hey everyone, welcome to the Eczema channel. Do you realize that some of the healthy foods you are giving to your children could be flaring their eczema? In this video, I'm going to share the 5 foods that really made my children's eczema worse, but they didn't show up on their skin prick allergy tests. So I'm assuming that most of you already know that milk and eggs flare eczema a lot in eczema sufferers. So I'm not talking about those ones that people know about. These are foods that people genuinely don't tend to know about. The first food I want to mention is wheat. Wheat is an odd one because it can flare eczema up to 3 days after you eat it. So by the time it flares, you completely forgot what you ate. So you don't make the connection between it. So lots of people find out foods that they're allergic to from these skin prick tests. The skin prick test tests for IgE mediated reactions. They're testing for an IgE antibody. The problem with wheat is it often uses an IgG antibody, so it doesn't show up on the skin prick tests at all. And then people think that they're fine with wheat when actually they're not. IgG shows up on a blood test for allergy. So this is why it's often missed. So that's number 1 is wheat. Number 2 is citrus. Citrus fruits can cause flares between 1 to 24 hours after they're eaten. One of the reasons they do this is not so much an allergy, but citrus fruits are very high in histamine. Histamine is the product that's released when you're having an allergic reaction. So if you eat foods that are high in histamine, it can cause the blood levels of histamine to rise, and then you show symptoms of an allergic reaction, which can be eczema flares or runny itchy eyes or hives. But it's not an allergic reaction. It's because your histamine levels within your blood have risen to the level that they're now going to show allergy-related symptoms, even though you're not actually having an antibody-related reaction in your body. So that's citrus. The third one is nightshade plants. Nightshade plants can cause eczema flares because of the solanine that is in them. It's highly inflammatory. So when you have inflammation in your body anyway from eczema, and then you eat a nightshade plant, it can cause the inflammation in the body to increase, and then it causes the eczema to flare and the inflammation in your body to get higher. Nightshade plants include tomatoes, potatoes even, peppers, all types of peppers apart from black pepper, chilies, aubergines or eggplant. But not everybody reacts to all of them at the same level. So my children couldn't have the tomatoes, aubergines, chilies, peppers, but they could have potatoes. So it's doing a little bit of detective work and testing to see which ones they will react to. Number 4 is lentils. Lentils can cause flares in people who have an issue with it. And again, it's caused by an IgG reaction, not an IgE reaction, so it won't show up on a skin prick test. But when you have an antibody reaction in your body, the antibodies are reacting to the protein in the food. It's not the food. People say, oh, I have an allergy to egg. You don't have an allergy to egg. You have an allergy to a protein in egg. And proteins have a different shape and structure. I go into this in depth in my course and in my book, explain how it all works. But what can happen is you have a protein structure, your antibodies have been programmed to react to that structure, and they can also then start to react to proteins with a similar structure. So one of the issues with lentils is the protein structure is similar to some of your skin proteins. So if your children or you have an issue with lentils, and you eat lentils and you trigger the antibody reaction, your body can start to attack your own skin proteins, and that can cause eczema flares. That's why the lentils is one. And then the last one is MSG. Although MSG is not a particular food, it is in a lot of packaged foods and processed foods. This is a flavor enhancer, and it is known to trigger and cause skin rashes. So it can really cause eczema, and it can cause eczema to increase in severity. So not everybody has the same triggers when it comes to food. Even my children didn't have the same triggers. As I said in one of the other videos, we had 13 different food allergies between us, but they didn't even have the same ones. So you can imagine what my family meals were like, trying to cook food that everybody could eat. So I'm encouraging you to get IgE skin prick tests, but also get IgG blood tests, so that you can get a fuller picture of what is actually going on with your antibody reactions to food. Another thing I did with my children, which was a great help, was to keep a food tracker. I recorded every single thing I gave them to eat, everything, and the time that I gave it. And then when they had a flare, I would note that on the tracker as well, and the time that they had the flare. And I did that for a week at least. You want to do it for at least a week. When you do that, you will start to see a correlation. You start to see the flares, and you start to see there's a pattern. The patterns show up. So I noticed with my children, when they eat wheat, their eczema flares 3 days later. When they eat citrus, their eczema is flaring the next day. And so this is how I spotted my children's food reactions even before they had the allergy test. The allergy test then confirmed what I'd already found on the food tracker. So food trackers are a great eczema detective tool when you're trying to figure out how to help your children or yourself. Eczema is far more involved than just food triggers though. There are a whole map of things going on inside in your body. Things that involve toxins, microbiome, gut function in itself, stress. We all know stress triggers eczema a lot. There's so many different things that go on, and if you really want to get healed, you have to get to the root cause of what's going on inside of your body. And so I've developed a free quiz that you can do. I'll put a link just below in the description. You can go on there, and it's pretty good at identifying the hidden drivers of your eczema, things that you have not been told by your medical professional. So if you click on that and do that, you will get some free information at the end and some free teaching and how you can move forward on that. So I hope this has helped, and I will see you in the next video.